So today we're going to be working our arms, and it's one of my favorite areas and muscle groups to work with. Triceps are actually my absolute favorite, but it's good to have a well-balanced upper body program, because a lot of times if people spend too much time doing one muscle group, it actually does mess up the mechanics of your whole arm. So we're going to do a kind of overview of some major muscle groups in our arms today, because we have about 10 minutes to work together, and I want you to have a comprehensive idea where you would be able to continue these exercises with areas that you feel are more weak for you, and you might need to put a little effort more into that. So before you start any upper body program, you do want to kind of warm up the tissue. So if you're doing this earlier in the day, you definitely want to spend a little extra time. If it's kind of midday or evening, you've been working the whole day long, you've been awake, so the circulation is there, but still spend a little bit of extra time through the shoulders. So we're just going to do a couple of shoulder rolls backwards first, and then we're going to work forward. So a lot of times people, again, if you want to lose fat, the emphasis is on cardio, doing running, doing walking, doing intervals, and we're going to go the other way. And I think it's super important to have a balanced program. So those are important things, but resistant training does give your muscles not only more shape and definition, but it's very functional as well, okay? So it's gonna help you do what you wanna do because you have the strength to do it. Okay, so now we're just gonna do kind of bigger arms out, and like you're giving me a big hug or I'm giving you a big hug. Out and in, we're gonna do a couple of these, and then we're gonna do large shoulder rolls, okay? And then we'll get started. So resistance training, again, not only gives you more definition, so we're gonna do big shoulder rolls back. We'll do between, around 5 or 6 or so. Again, you're just warming up the joints, allowing the synovial fluid to lubricate the joint so you don't get injured, giving circulation to the muscles themselves so they'll have some oxygen there to give you a little bit more power. So resistance training gives you, again, so just relax, kind of shake it up, bend your elbows up and down a couple of times, and we're going to be ready to go. But I just feel like people need to know, other than muscle definition, the more muscle you have, the higher your metabolism is. So this could be another weight loss component. When you're done the exercises, you're going to continue to burn a lot more calories, because that's kind of just like the benefit of the building more muscle. And in addition, you're actually getting more strength to your bone density because you're actually loading it with weight. So we are going to work on free weights today. If you don't have free weights, that's okay. I'm going to actually teach you how to give resistance even without an actual weight. You can certainly use anything you have around the house. I've had clients and patients that I worked with in physical therapy use soup cans or things that you have around the house that for this first muscle group, you're going to want to use a lightweight anyway. So we're going to do the deltoid muscle group, which is here, and there's 3 heads: anterior, middle, and posterior. So I'm going to have you get about a 2 to 3 pound weight at the most. If you've been exercising a lot, you could potentially use a 5 or a 10, but again, we're going to be doing 10 to 12 reps, okay? So get your weights. And these are 3s. So again, you might lift them up, but these are smaller muscle groups, but this gives you a nice shape to your shoulder, and you use your deltoids all day long. Okay, so now that we're warm, you're going to set up. So even though you're doing arms, if you have poor posture in this, you're never going to work the muscles safely. You're risking energy and injury rather, and you're also just going to not get the best out of the exercise. So get your shoulders up, relax your shoulders from your ears, and we're going to do just 10 anterior raises. My thumbs are up, my arms are straight, maybe a slight bend to the elbow, and we're gonna do this 10 times. Okay, so you're going 1, 2. Now my shoulders are relaxed. They're not shrugging up to my shoulders. I'm going at a controlled pace. So I'm not swinging the arms up using momentum, okay? So we're halfway there. 5, 4, 3. Now let's just start for 10 today, so you can just kind of go ahead. On this last rep, hold it up at the end, and my arms are parallel to the ground. I'm going to turn to side. You can see it's parallel, perpendicular to my shoulder too, but my arm is parallel, and I'm not doing this, okay? So that would be your anterior delts. So now we're gonna go to the side. So now I rotate, so my thumbs are up, but my palms are facing you. Okay, so that's what's gonna get this middle part. So we're gonna take minimal rest because we wanna burn right through this, and you're gonna work your arms just to the side. You know, kind of like you're doing a snow angel, but you are standing up and you're not bringing your arms all the way overhead. You're stopping just before you go kind of towards the level of your ears, okay? So kind of peek out. Your arms should be in the same plane as your torso. And I believe this is 8. Nice deep breaths. 9 and 10, okay? Now again, if you start to feel that you have to use momentum to get your arms up, you would drop your weights and just finish the set without weights. So if I was gonna do that, again, you almost picture that you're actually lifting, or that there's almost like your arms are going through water. You can slow the motion down, hold it more at the end range, and then relax it down. You're still going to get benefit from that because the muscles are contracting, okay? So when we do a posterior delt, I actually lean forward a little bit. Again, my shoulders are relaxed, and now my palms are facing each other. Okay, so my thumbs are up again. You pitch forward at the waist. So you could also do the sitting if you want. My back is straight, so you don't want to have a rounded back. You want to have the shoulders up, and you lean forward, almost picturing like you're at the hips. My arms are straight, and now we're not doing a kickback for the triceps. Your whole arm is straight, and you're bringing the weight just behind the hip. Okay, so this one you really want to be careful not to shrug the shoulders up, and you're going to just bring your arms past your rib cage, okay? Neck is in alignment. I'm facing you because I want you to see me. Again, remember to breathe through it. Do not hold your breath. 6, I believe. And if I'm wrong, you don't cheat yourself. Make sure you do all the set. And you're looking for 10 to 12, depending on what you're individually feeling. 9 and 10. All right, so then you would relax, drop your weights. Now you could either repeat that set and do a second one, because when you're using lighter weights, again, kind of shake it out a little bit. You're using lighter weights, you're going to be able to maybe do a little bit more. So you could actually do a second set or higher reps, or minimizing your rest time in between your exercise. Okay, so those are all ways you can vary difficulty. Obviously, adding more weight is an option, but just remember, don't lose form to increase the weights. You're actually doing yourself more potential harm if you have not been an experienced exerciser, especially resistance training. Okay, so now I'm going to show you an overhead press. This is one of my favorites because, again, it gives you shape arms, and how many times you're putting your groceries away, you're moving furniture around, you're putting things up overhead, and this is more taxing. This is where people can potentially get injuries. You know, bursitis, tendonitis, impingement is a common one that people don't know what that is, but when you're starting to reach your arms overhead and they start to feel really uncomfortable and painful in a localized place, you need to kind of have that to be assessed. You can certainly email me. I can give you a better reference point to diagnose, but you also, again, would want to pursue that with your physician. So pick your weights back up. Potentially you could go with a heavier weight here, but just for the ease of purposes, because I do want to keep this manageable at 10 minutes, you're going to just maybe keep the same weight, focus on your form. Shoulders up, belly button tucked to the spine. So you're going to actually curl so you get a little bit of bicep. My hands are facing each other, and you're going to overhead press. Okay, so now my arms are in line, slightly in front of my shoulders, but you bring them down, elbows stay in towards the torso, and then you relax it down. So we're actually getting a little bit of both muscle groups. Okay, overhead, down, relax. So this would be 3. Ideally, you exhale on the exertion. Good, that's 4. 5, keep those cues, elbows in. 6, again with my weights and my counting, I hope I'm accurate, but you get the idea, right? And 8, so don't slouch, keep that posture up. Great job. 1 more. Let's just do a bonus one. just to make sure we get them all in. Okay, so just to demonstrate, if I weren't keeping that on track, you know, again, if I'm, you know, swinging the weights and I'm almost doing like a little squat, as you do heavier weights, there can be a technique for people that really are going heavy. But for this, you should always be in control. And if I told you to stop and you would take cues, where are your elbows? If they're way out here, this is another exercise that we can do later on. For today, again, we're working those anterior delts. So you're working to try to keep the elbows in, and that's, again, going to isolate a muscle group because we can always vary the position to target that area in a slightly different way. But today, that's what I want you to focus on, okay? So enjoy your arms, make them nice and strong. Make sure you comment or like or anything you want, let me know, and I will help you as best that I can. I'll see you tomorrow.